Welcome back to Fourth and Pain, the only football pro wrestling show to be hosted by an NFL player and a weight loss champion. That right there, his name is Redskins defensive end Adam Carriker.
You see this shirt I'm wearing right here? I'm talking to you, LeVar and Dukes. I'm talking to you, the Junks. I'm talking to you, Holden and Danny. Even you, Grant Paulson. I hear you every day on the radio for 3 or 4 hours. We, not CM Punk, not you four jabronis, we, Fourth and Pain, are the best on the radio, under the sun, in the Milky Way galaxy, and in all of God's green earth.
We're the best at making friends, too.
Hallelujah.
Making friends with biblical proportions. All right there. Redskins defensive end Adam Carriker, former wrestling announcer, weight loss champion Chuck Carroll here. Thanks for listening to the show, watching us on YouTube, and liking us on Facebook, by golly. All right, here is the rundown for this here portion of Fourth and Pain. Now, I'm going to say we are going to get to Tim Tebow. Everybody loves to talk about Tim Tebow, but as I understand it, you, Adam, have had the opportunity to do something that nobody else has done yet out at Redskins Park, and you have had the opportunity to go in there and see what this $31 million upgrade looks like. Talk to me. What did you see?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not in Richmond with everyone else, but I had a package delivered to Redskins Park, so I went to pick up my package. While I was there, I went downstairs. I wanted to check out the training room. I wanted to check out where we're going to be eating, and I wanted to check out the weight room and how everything looked. And while I was there, I happened to, it was a Sunday, and there was workers there. I was a little bit surprised, but I happened to bump into the man who apparently was in charge of running everything. And he's like, "Are you Adam Carriker?" I'm like, "Well, yes, I am." He's like, "Well, let me give you a tour of everything." So he kind of gave me the backstage tour and told me about everything. He took me into the training room. The training room itself is not any different, but there's an extension and there's an underwater treadmill, which yours truly will be spending a lot of time on in the very near future. There is a giant cold tub, a giant hot tub. There's a new shower and bathroom for the coaches to use specifically. And then you go into the weight room. The weight room is a lot bigger. The weight room has been expanded. There's a lot more room. There's brand new platforms to do our squats, our cleans, our deadlifts on. The floor itself is a little bit softer, which is better when you're doing lifts and you're putting stress on your joints with a lot of weight. And they did a lot of redoing the landscaping as well, so it just looks a lot more professional. But they took out the whole back part of the building, and now it's just glass from top to bottom. So if you're doing cardio and treadmill, and you can look out and you can see Redskins Park, and versus staring at a wall, I can tell you that is so much more motivating to watch, to look out and see the football field where you're going to be practicing and getting ready for NFL games rather than just looking at a wall or a TV that may be there. And it's 10 times nicer. You go outside, you look at the landscaping, kind of irrelevant as far as, making us better, but as far as looking professional, looking good, it definitely does. The thing that caught my eye the most, I went downstairs into the kitchen. The kitchen was basically catered in food before. I'd never really seen the back part where all the workers were before, and where we ate was just a basketball court. There was just tables and basically padded folding chairs. Kind of what I'm sitting on right now, except I also have a pillow underneath because it hurts my coccyx if I sit on this chair for too long. But they have nice chairs. They have really nice big tables, and you look in the kitchen, and you can there's going to be 6 different types of chefs and or cooks. There's a couple of head chefs. There's a couple of cooks. There's a short order cook. You can basically walk up. There's going to be a menu of the day. There's going to be things they have every day. There's a juice bar. There's a protein bar. There's a Gatorade section. Well, I guess that's kind of in the Gatorade section, the protein bar. They have a little pad. You can look up nutritional facts. We have a nutritionist, by the way. We've never had a nutritionist before.
I approve.
Absolutely. And then you got this little pad where you can look up how much protein you should take a day. You can look up any nutritional facts, anything Gatorade related. They got drinks, they got bars, they got the protein, they got everything laid out for you. But this kitchen it's immaculate. I'm not going to take pictures. I don't know if they want that out there yet. I was the first person to ever see this besides the workers. The guys like the CEO, the guy who organized all this, is coming out later today. So he hasn't seen it yet. You're officially the first one to see it. And as you look into the kitchen with all these cooks and all these chefs that are going to be there with the fruit section, the sandwich section, there's going to be a pasta bar every day. They had this one thing. I believe it's going to be the oven. I'm not, that kitchen oriented. My wife kind of does that. But the flame comes out and the Redskins logo lights up. And
what?
I was told this thing was quite expensive, very nice. Yeah, you look in there, and it's just like I felt like I was looking into the
Oh,
back of one of the most expensive restaurants you would find. And it's just very fancy. And I think it's going to make a huge difference
all right.
because what you put in your body, as you know and I know, is extremely important. And I asked him how much it cost, and the 31 million. I think a lot of that goes into the Richmond project. I think a lot of that's been spread around. I know they did some stuff at the stadium. And he didn't know exactly, but his guesstimation was the kitchen probably cost a couple million, the weight room and the training room probably cost a couple million. It was probably anywhere between the weight room, training room, the kitchen, anywhere between 4 to 5 million, probably somewhere in there was his guess. And it is probably, I've been in quite a few NFL facilities before I was drafted. You go around, you travel. This was one of the worst ones I'd seen.
Wow.
Comparable to almost a D3 college we went and practiced at and did camp at my second year in St. Louis up in Wisconsin, Whitewater. It was very similar to that D3 college we went and stayed at. Now, I would have to say it's probably the nicest facility, at least the things they've upgraded, I've seen in the entire NFL.
Wow. You know, they say in business you have to spend money to make money. And the way that I look at this is it's an investment in your team and it's an investment in the product. And hopefully this will lead to Washington then going forward and capturing more division titles and ending this well, prior to last season, decade-long drought of just mediocrity, for lack of a better word. I'm really intrigued, real quick before we get to Tim Tebow, I'm really intrigued about the oven with the Redskins logo. Now, you tell me that it's just like a big glass thing? It's a brick thing? What's going on there?
Okay, well, first of all, I don't understand ovens very well. I'm not going to proclaim to. But basically, he was pretty proud of this, and he showed me this.
Should be.
And in the back, there's this Redskins logo. And he says when the fire comes up, it lights up the Redskins logo and just looks extremely cool. And it was the one thing out of this immaculate kitchen that he really wanted to show me.
Awesome. Redskins defensive.
I'm also excited about six chefs or cooks being ready, about all this healthy food. That's what I'm talking about.
Dude, all you need now is a sushi bar.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Redskins defensive end Adam Carriker giving us the inside scoop at the renovations at Redskins Park. You are listening to Fourth and Pain. Be sure to give the show a follow at Fourth and Pain. Now, Adam, we have about 3 minutes here to discuss Tim Tebow. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about Tim Tebow. Would this be the end of the line for him if things don't work out in New England? Now, let me give you some numbers. I'm not going to name names yet. I'm just going to rattle off some quarterback statistics from the Patriots' first preseason game. 9 of 18, 97 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. 7 of 8, 65 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. 4 of 12, 55 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Now, of those three stat lines, who is our guy, Tim Tebow?
It's interesting because I know the backup quarterback, and his name escapes me at the moment, got hurt. And I know Tebow ended up playing a lot in the second quarter as well as most of the second half. And his passing stats are not great. A lot of people say that he can throw and whatnot, but what he did is they actually put in a lot of plays for Tim Tebow. You could tell they didn't just draw these plays in the dirt. They'd been practicing, which means they have belief and confidence and faith in Tebow. These spread option, him running the ball. Let's not forget he ran the ball pretty well. Let's not forget off the spread option, LeGarrette Blount had a big touchdown run,
True.
which is part of the offense that Tim Tebow brings to your team. So let's also give the man his due. He hasn't been given the chance to really play in about a year. So give him some time. You take this as a negative. I think it's a bright spot because it shows the confidence that Bill Belichick and everybody. A lot of people think he's the best football coach on earth. I'm going to go with Shanahan, but this shows the confidence he has in Mr. Tebow.
4 of 12, 55 yards. Tom Brady, I mean, what can you say about this guy? He's the number one and a Pro Bowler perennially for a reason. 7 of 8, 65 yards, and the touchdown. I mean, that's easy going right there. But 4 of 12, come on, man. I mean, you have to be a serious pipe-smoking kind of guy to believe that Tim Tebow can have any sort of efficiency here. 4 of 12. Whether or not he's setting up LeGarrette Blount for long runs for touchdowns is irrelevant because you know he's going to turn the ball over, and outside of those big runs, he's not able to move the ball. This is just a fact of the matter. You may choose to disagree, but the fact of the matter is I'm right, you're wrong. Tim Tebow, I'm telling you, is not the answer in New England. And Ryan Mallett, you better hope that he heals up
Ryan
fast.
Mallett. That's the name. He's not the answer in New England. They got Tom Brady, but the man can play quarterback and football, period.
Anyway, on the other side, we're going to come back, talk a little bit about wrestling. This is Fourth and Pain. Don't you go anywhere.
Adam Carriker, Washington Redskins defensive end number 94. Largest arms on the D-line here with your pumping iron tip of the week. The number one lift you can do, especially if you're training for sports, is the squats. The squats work every major muscle group in your entire lower body, including the largest muscle in your entire body, which is the quads. The only exception to this is the hamstrings. I would suggest you superset some hamstrings while you're doing your squats. Squats increases your overall lower body strength, power, speed, your vertical, and your explosiveness. If you did no other lift while training for sports and just squats, you would have an average to above average workout program. Remember, the strongest muscle pound for pound in the entire body is your tongue, which means your words are more powerful than you think, your thoughts are more powerful than you can imagine, and your imagination is only limited by how high and how far you're willing to reach for that shooting star. You're welcome.